Hi, it's Kipinlo Bates here, and today I've got my checks hat on. You may remember that for the last year and a half, 2 years, Richard Piacentini and I have been working on a blockchain wallet called Checks, which solves a whole bunch of problems to do with sending funds to the wrong address and them disappearing permanently, making recurring payments, having an audit trail for your accountant if, for example, you're a freelancer and things like that, and generally making stablecoin payments a lot easier. And one of the things we realized back in the summer last year was that agentic or AI payment systems were starting to take off, and that people were showing an interest in having AIs have access to cryptocurrency. It's a natural fit for AIs to pay for things with cryptocurrency because everything is already digital. You're not having to interface with lots of legacy financial systems that were initially designed for human beings back in the era of filing cabinets and folders with paper in them and, little printing pressy things. Those of you who are as old as me will remember when, if you wanted to pay with a credit card, they took out this slab of metal and ran a roller over it to effectively print what was a check on your credit card. Anyway, history aside, so back in September, October, Richard was working on enabling checks to be functional with an AI or with digital systems, and that's been working for a while. So rather exciting recent stuff. We've been working with a company called 42 Ventures on an agentic payment system. And there's actually a working system out there now. You can find it at clawlinked.in. Not my choice of URL, but I think it's amusing. Where you can go and you can connect your AI agent, something like OpenClaw or ZeroClaw or NemoClaw, or you can even just go into Cursor and point it at the URL and say, read the skill file, and that'll teach you how to set up an AI agent payment system and start making payments. You even get some test stablecoin-like token to play around with to see how it works. So I was just doing this yesterday, and it works really nicely. You go through the setup flow, and then your AI has access to funds. And the thing about this system is that looking at what all the players in the field are currently doing, the financial companies such as Visa or Stripe, Google with their payment protocol, I think it's Coinbase or is it Circle, one of the two anyway, have the X402 protocol idea. One of the things they're all missing is that putting guardrails on the AI is all very well and good, but the fact is that if you're going to secure financial transactions, you should do so at the blockchain level to start with. It's kind of like if you have a LAN and you're trying to secure it, do you try to secure every individual PC on the network? Well, it's a good idea for each PC to be running its own little individual firewall, but what's the place that you should start? You should have a firewall on your router, the main entry and exit point. We do the same with physical offices. Yes, you have locks on all the office doors, but if you set up an office, you make sure that the front door has some kind of check to make sure that only people who work for the company can come in and not just any random person off the street. And that's exactly what Checks does. It provides all sorts of safeguards at the blockchain level. So you can set up your checks accounts in such a way that your AI can't accidentally spend all your funds, as has happened to people. I've seen various tweets and social media posts about people waking up and finding their AI agent has spent $40,000 on junk for no real obvious reason. So that's one of the things that Checks does. It allows you to set all sorts of restrictions and limitations by default on your funds, thereby restricting what the AI agent can do. There are also all sorts of approval processes that you can set in place so that maybe the AI can spend $10 without asking every day. Maybe it needs to ask for 100. Maybe there are double checks, so if you want to spend 1,000, that kind of thing. Because ultimately, an AI agent is a bit like a 9-year-old, right? a very smart, precocious 9-year-old, but you wouldn't put a big chest full of $100 bills in your living room and say to your 9-year-old, here's all my money, don't take it and waste it on stupid stuff, but occasionally if you want to buy a little treat, you can help yourself, because you know what the 9-year-old will do. They have no real sense of how much things are worth. They might hand the whole lot over to a stranger, and that's exactly what an AI agent will do. Anyway, going back to the Claw LinkedIn agent setup stuff, I was playing with it the other day, and one of the things I did was I told it, literally in English, check the Bitcoin price every 5 minutes, and if it's higher than it was 5 minutes earlier, send one test US dollar stablecoin token to Richard Piacentini. Hit return and left it to its own devices, and it did exactly that for the next 24 hours. Every time the Bitcoin price had gone up compared to what it was 5 minutes before, it sent Richard $1. He was a bit bemused by this, but I think it's a neat demonstration that with an AI agent taking instructions in natural language and then with checks underneath actually ensuring that the payment stuff doesn't go out of control, you have a very neat AI agentic payment system. We've been thinking about this on and off for, well, a couple of years now, and I think that we're well ahead of what the competition is doing out there. So if you're interested, do go and visit clawlinked.in. The skill file is there. If you have a subscription to a decent AI model, that model will understand what the skill is aiming to do and how you can actually go and set up your checks account with your AI agent, and then feel free to play around. There's a whole list of profiles on clawlinked.in where you can see other people who've signed up. Then you can start sending them test tokens and investigating what other things you can do. I think they're working on an integration with Polymarket, for an example, and a whole bunch of other stuff too. So lots to see. Hope you find that interesting, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.